I've got the Old Faithful engine right here. It still ran, it just had a knock starting. I suspect a rod bearing. From what I understand, number 3 is pretty traditionally an issue, so this engine will get refreshed, rebuilt. I think the process that's going to be a positive outcome is to go the same route we just did. Send the block, send the head, send the crank straight to the machine shop and just tell them what I want. Order a set of 40 over pistons, order another set of those rings. I was having a heck of a time trying to get the transmission to land in there. I didn't know what the heck was wrong, so I must have smashed that pilot bushing too hard because it didn't fit. I don't know, I must have buggered that up. I'm fortunate because I had a spare floating around. So yeah, I smashed out that brand new pilot bushing that I had hammered in because it got small. It shrunk down when I hit it, so the hammer head, I must, maybe I don't know. I used the socket to drive it in. I thought that'd be flat enough, but this time I was smart and I used the old ruined bushing. I had a bolt that I held here. The bolt has a big shoulder on it, and then I just used that against the other bushing and tapped, and I took my sweet time driving her home. So it's in there now. Good. Alright, I've got the engine stand put away. So it's a slow and tedious process because I didn't want to smash everything up and dent it all, but engine and trans together went in. I didn't have any troubles. They went in really smooth. It was just I took my time. I worked alone, of course, and it was able to be done. It wasn't too terrible. Alright, we got lights on. I don't know what it means. No, it's fine. It's probably a good thing. What it means is I was working again. Wiring harness is basically wrapped, less some more split loom I want to add. What I did is I put in my priming distributor here. I've got the drill ready. And now that there's power in the car, that means the gauges work. So I should have the ability to read oil pressure from right down there in the console. So I'm going to give it a little bit, and you guys are going to tell me what you see and let me know if it works. Alright, so we've got oil pressure on the far right. You let me know. What'd you see? Anything? Nothing? Alright, so according to this unit, I can get 2,000 RPM on speed 3, which is what I was. I heard it bogged a little bit, so it probably wasn't 2,000, probably slightly less. But I was reading 60 pounds plus, a few maybe, like 64 maybe, 65 pounds of oil pressure. So that's fantastic. The biggest thing I was worried about a leak from is the oil cooler. There's no drip yet, but I'm going to go wipe it with that clean cloth and just check it out. And I'm going to give the undercarriage a once-over, look for any obvious signs of oil. For something that might have been silly or missed or what have you. Gonna give it a gander, a once over. Now it is Thursday, so I still need to do cooling system. I need to do carburetor, fuel, and there's other stuff on my list. The little touch-up stuff. But oil pressure is great, so I'm excited about being able to start this up. My flipped battery doesn't seem too bad. Terminals are a little close to the alternator, but it's not. I think you can still put cables on this and boost it if you had to. I was trying to get some of those wires a little neater, and I'm going to fix that yet on this side. It's going to get some more loom and get tidied up, but it looks a lot better without the fuel pump in the way, so you got a big hole there. It's nice. Anywho, distributor, I'm just going to leave that guy in here for now because I'll probably hit it one more time just for fun right before I'm ready to fire it, so that way it's fresh because now it's going to sit all night. I'll check the oil one last time. I put about 4 quarts in it. The bottle has 5. But I've also got an oil cooler, so now that I've pushed pressure through it, I'll check once it settles where it's at, kind of see what I got. So, should be, I'm excited. It's going to be great. I am filling the system with coolant. I've primed it. I put the distributor in. So, by all rights, a few more steps here. Another check once over. I should be in a position where I'm ready to hit the key and see if this will do something more than just look nice. Carb is on, plug wires are on, distributor's in. I think base timing is going to be pretty close. Right now it's pretty well 0 degrees at TDC, so I'll advance it just a smidgen and we'll see where that goes. Vac line is hooked up, ignition's hooked up. Fuel line is on and connected. I did not plug in the fuel pump yet. That's the last thing I believe I need to do. All right, shifter is on. I think we're good. I'm gonna record a video on the phone at the same time and see what we got. I mean, hopefully it's exciting, but not so exciting. All right. Just gonna leave that there. I'm replacing that choke wire. It's not gonna stay with that terrible connector. It's gonna be nice. All I've done is prime the fuel system. I just turned the key on. The pump did all the work for me. There it is running. Pressurize the fuel system all the way. I do have a clutch switch, so I have to push that. Good. Let's see it. Well, I'll be. That's eyeball timer. Heck yeah. Awfully smoky in here. All right, we got fuel pressure. Let's take you with me here and open this garage door. It's a little clicky. Put a timing light and see where we're at. It sounds like it's leveling out quite a bit. It's coming up to temperature slowly. check that gauge again. Okay, we're just about the point where that thermostat should be open. Yep. Come on, man. I'm definitely excited. That was awesome. It started up really nice. The idle, the noises, everything kind of kicked down as it warmed up and started to break itself in, so that's great. Obviously hasn't been driven yet, and that's okay. I put the exhaust hanger on at the trans, and it got rid of that noise it was making, that ticking. That was the exhaust banging around. Negative thing. I was underneath and I looked at something. I saw it a few weeks ago and I didn't know how much attention I needed to pay to it. Now I looked at it closer and I definitely need to do something. So I've got some pretty good rot happening on the driver's side. The passenger side's no better. Well, the passenger side's better. The driver's side's the worst. Right behind at the rear trailer, rear lower control arm mount. Looks like a mouse nest was up inside. I pulled out a bunch of material that would have been insulation from the car. Look at this side here. There's a whole pile of it. The other side had just as much. So mice had packed a nest in a spot there. And of course it rotted away that structure. So the inner floor is fine because that had been fixed before. This is the outer steel that ties to that mount for the lower control arm. So I will reluctantly be fixing that. That's going to be happening now too. I can't walk away from that knowing it's there. It's not a good deal. So it'll be a good chunk of steel patch to make. But once it's on there, it's on there. It's definitely the right move. I'll do both sides because I'm already here. So, and then I'm gonna, let's see. I'll put the hood on still, test drive it. Still, I could probably still test drive it even with that because I would have driven it right up until this point, so could certainly drive it, but I'm basically down to like 2 weeks. It's May 10th. Mother's Day now. Let's see. And let's count it like this. 1, 2, 3 weeks. And it's on the road, so like leaving. I can fix that in less than 3 weeks. I'm sure of that. Plus get this tested and get it on the road. If I could fix it in like 2 or 3 days, I should be okay. That's the goal. And I got a whole huge mess to clean up. My goodness. All right. I'm off for now. Let the adventure continue.